There were no restaurants, movies on weekends. I don't know how I survived. Anyway, gradually, things got better. And we started...
You worked hard at it, Edith.
We started, yeah. The only activities was bowling and the choir. I can't sing. Anyway, gradually things got better, and the racket club started in Petoskey, and that was wonderful. And then we started, Jack Perry started the Crooked Tree Arts Center in that didn't start till 72. That was 10 years after I moved here.
Yeah.
But the tennis club helped. And we invited my mother to come and live with us, so I had someone to go to the movies with.
Were you a skier? Did you ski
Yes.
in the winter?
Yes, I forgot. I should have mentioned that. That was wonderful. Skiing helped a lot. And see, Charlevoix, after the war, which was a booming era for Charlevoix, then after the war, everybody started to travel, and very few people came to Charlevoix. And Cook's closed, and a lot of people stopped coming because the gambling casino closed. So in the 60s, things were really bad financially up here. And the houses they were giving them away. Houses on Michigan Avenue, those gorgeous big homes, went for $50,000 furnished.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. You couldn't give them away. Then skiing came, and that helped the economy a lot. Going back to trains, the trains ran up here until 1958. We had what was called the Resort Special, and they brought people from Detroit, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Chicago, and that was very exciting. And we missed that. You see, we're talking about this in the 60s when things went downhill. The trains stopped coming. That was a big deal.
Right.
Oh, I have to tell you. You asked me about the parties that they used to have. Mm-hmm. I have to tell you that every party when the locals were involved, mm-hmm. They were ended with the Charleroy Song. Are you familiar with the Charleroy Song?
No, I think I read it just from your book, but I'm
Well, I have it in my book.
Please share it with us.
This little bit of heaven mixed with land and lake and sky, it nestled in the valleys with Lake Michigan close by. And when the angels found it, oh, it looked so sweet and fair. They said, suppose we leave it, for it looks so peaceful there. So they sprinkled it with birches just to make the pine trees grow, or all the land you'll find them, no matter where you go. Then they dotted it with blue lakes, while the angels sang for joy, and when they had it finished, sure, they called it Charlevoix. And every night they would sing that song, and grown men would cry.
So during the 60s, did the summer people stop coming? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
There just was very few?
Well, the gambling casino was gone. People traveled. Mm-hmm. And really sort of only people who had cottages here, like the Chicago Club and the Belvedere. But before that, every house was, people would rent their houses in the summer.
Mm-hmm. And they'd be full all the time. Yeah.
And that ended.
Well, do you know when the Belvedere Club started?
Well, I have it here in my book. Okay. The Belvedere was founded in 1878.
Wow, okay.
The Chicago Club was founded in 1880.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's well before Edith's time.
Well, yes.
That was long.
And you went to the Belvedere in the Chicago when you came up in the summer?
Occasionally, we had a few friends. It was, of course, the Belvedere, God bless them, they started the Belvedere Golf Club.
Yeah.
And that was wonderful. My husband used to play there all the time, and he had a lot of golfing friends on the Belvedere. And of course, I remember Elizabeth Clark, who was a real character on the Belvedere. Anybody who ever met her will never forget her. She would wear gloves, white gloves, downtown, and she had a long cigarette holder. And she drove around in this black Cadillac or Packard with a black chauffeur. She was from St. Louis, and anybody who ever met her will never forget her. She was fun, great sense of humor. I forgot to mention that during the war, the Navy requisitioned my father's yacht, which was a 70-foot, 2-foot yacht, and we used to go to Beaver Island on it. But the Navy requisitioned it, and it served trolling up and down the Atlantic looking for submarines.
Wow.
And when the war was over, he was offered to buy it back, but he didn't do it because it had magnificent woods from South America, and everything had been painted gray, inside and out. It was sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
I wonder if anybody else ever brought it back.
Yeah, that'd be a big chore.
Yeah,
Where did you meet Julius, your husband?
in the Beverly Hills Hotel.
In California.
Uh-huh.
And what brought you to Charlevoix to begin with?
Well, my husband had been coming up here since he was 7 years old. He was born in Kalamazoo, and there were a lot of Kalamazoo people who came to Charlevoix. And his health wasn't so great, so they said, oh, take him to Charlevoix, it'll be good for him. And so my husband's family, the Gilberts, came to Charlevoix in 1910, about. And they bought that house on Park Avenue, 217 Park Avenue, which was brand new. Somebody built it, and they bought it for $5,000. The Charlevoix and Belvedere Club, all these associations were very restricted because they were founded usually by church group. For instance, in the Chicago Club, they still sing hymns every night, Sunday night. And so, that was a different picture. The Bayview was founded by Methodists. Sequanota, I think, was founded by a group of college friends.
They're from Ohio, Sequanotus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, this was that's the way things were, these associations, and you bought and sold through your friends in the associations. I can understand that. See, the Belvedere Club was founded by Baptist ministers and teachers from Kalamazoo, Michigan. And the Chicago Club was founded by leading members of the First Congregational Church in Chicago. The Sequanota Club was founded by a group from Galesburg, Illinois, home of Knox College.
Well, what do you love about Charlevoix?
I love the small town atmosphere. I like being able to accomplish 10 things in 5 minutes downtown. I go to the post office, to the bank, to the grocery store,
Yeah.
to the library.
Yeah.
In Detroit, it would take you all day to do that.
Yeah.
And what about just the community itself? What is special?
Well, I think it's very friendly, and people drop in and visit and work together on projects and have fun together. Yes, Crooked Tree had a major impact in the area.
Yes.
People met each other who had mutual interests for the first time. And,
Don't you think it helped foster the artist community that's here?
oh, it had a major impact.
Yeah, that's an important area. Why don't you talk about when did artists start coming here and making this?
Well, we always had artists here because they loved the nature. They loved the water and the trees and the mountains and the sky and the sunsets. And this area has always attracted artists. And when we started Crooked, we started first, I forgot to mention, the first thing we started was, I helped on that project, was the art fair in Charlevoix. And I remember when we started the art fair, and that took off right away. And we had major artists there, and thanks to Nate Cummings, he loaned us his magnificent Legers and Giacomettis and beautiful sculpture and art paintings. And so that attracted artists because they said, aha, this is of a high level. It wasn't just a,
Right.
where they
Amateur.
painted
Right.
eggshell boxes, egg crates. It was not a craft show. It was top drawer, and some of my friends from the Detroit Art Center came up, and Walter Meidner for one, and Charles Culver. I attracted people like that, and of course they said, oh, he's going to be in there. Yeah, I'll go, And so the Charlevoix Art Fair really took off for a variety of reasons. And so when that was such a big success after about 10 years, I realized that there were the artists here. There were lots of artists here. Culver was here, Meidner was here, and lots of artists were here. And I thought, well, we've got artists and we've got summer people with deep pockets, and there's no reason we can't start an art center. Now, naturally, the logical place for an art center was Petoskey.
Yes. Yes.
And thanks to the person who really started it was Jack Perry. He lived in Petoskey. But I said, well, we've got to have Emmett County and Charlevoix County. Well, that was a first, to have the two counties combined. But it was a success. And so because we had the artists and we had the patrons, we decided to go ahead with it. But we had no marketing.
Right.
We
Public
didn't need it. We didn't need it. We knew the area. You don't have to have a marketing study
Right.
if you know the area. But also boating. I think
Yeah, I think
boating
so.
attracted.
Right.
People came here by boat, and they looked at this place and they said, wow,
Yeah.
let's.
Yeah.
I know an awful lot of people
It's true.
who came here by boat and discovered Charlevoix and decided to buy a cottage.
Yeah. Very good point.
So you had boats, you said in the Venetian. Did you take the boats to the Beaver Island too? And
Yeah, we used to love to go to Beaver Island.
Is that something they did even when you first came in the 40s?
Yes.
Yes. Were there big boats that came here
Yes,
too?
yes,
Did
we
they come
always
from
went to
Chicago?
Beaver Island.
Did-
It was a wonderful, friendly, warm, loving place. We became friends with the Beaver Islanders, Gallaghers, old John Gallagher and young John Gallagher, Lafreniers. We used to have fun. Go to the Shamrock Bar, which was, the Shamrock was like a community center.
Yeah.
Everybody went there. Mothers with babies and children danced
Yeah.
on the dance floor. Teenagers. Was a community center. It wasn't a bar. It really wasn't.
Yes.
Well, everybody was friendly. You walk up and down Bridge Street and you'd visit with everybody in the stores. And it used to be easier to get things done in the old days.
Because you knew everybody, right, okay.
Because, you'd go to somebody's house. I remember, for instance, it was interesting. One day evening we were together with Maury Foster, who worked at the bank. And he was talking to Julius, my husband, and my husband said, well, what's going on in Charlevoix? And he said, well, we want to start a ski hill. A ski hill? Mount McSaba? We want to start a ski hill. So my husband said, well, that sounds interesting, because he thought it would be fun for our children. And right off the bat, he gave him a check for the ski hill. That's how things got done.
Yeah.
Your word was as good as your bond.
Yeah.
That's how they used to fundraise for the hospital. You'd go to a cocktail party and you'd say to Gib, well, how are things at the hospital? And he'd say, well, we need a new x-ray machine. Okay. The next day, Julius would make phone calls, or somebody else would make a few phone calls, and you got your x-ray machine, period.
Thank you, Edith.
Yes, thank you.